Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. My name is Pat Moore and this is More Sporting. And you know, here I am pulling the wheels off my kayak, and at this point I have no idea what I'm in store for. This is going to be one of the most luckiest days of fishing I have ever had. And okay, yeah, some of it was skill, sure, but it really was an amazing day of fishing. It's the best I've had ever. And hopefully it won't be the last day like this, but it was an impressive day of fishing, and you'll get to see a lot of really high-end fish catches here, so stick around. And at the end, probably the most miraculous thing of the entire trip happens, and it's worth sticking around for. Let me set the stage here. Probably the first 20 or 30 docks that I fished produced absolutely nothing. Now, I don't know why that is. They weren't particularly different from the docks that did produce fish, but they just didn't. And that's one of the things that you're going to have to learn when you're fishing for bass is you just got to be persistent and keep trying. I did have faith that something was going to produce. And I found this here dock, and it was really difficult to get in there. It was, look, about the width of the kayak to get back to the back side of that dock. And when I casted it in there, the line took off. And sure enough, I caught a fish. This is probably 9:30 in the morning. It is when I finally started catching some fish. So, yeah, you just got to be persistent and have faith in that what you're doing is going to work. Now, this isn't a particularly large fish, but it does give me the confidence to continue on with the pattern. I was sure it was going to work, and it did. I was just struggling a bit there after the first 20 docks of not catching a fish. I wasn't quite sure it was going to happen today. All right, well, I'm going to measure this fish because I'm in a monthly tournament, a monthly challenge called the Bronzeback, and he may be a qualifying fish for me. I don't know at this point. But I'm going to measure them just so I'm on the safe side. The other thing I want to do is I try to keep track of how many keeper fish I get every time I go out, because in order to be competitive in tournaments, you got to catch at least 5 fish. And so every time I go out, that's my goal, is to catch 5 fish. And yes, you can see that it's over 12 inches. It was 14 and a half, so a keeper. So that is my first keeper of the day. Yeah, so this is one of the most unassuming docks that I fished. It's small and inconspicuous, and I tossed it in and it landed right next to the post. And I'd like to say that's where I tried to cast it, but that's just where it went. And sure enough, it's a big fish. And you can tell by my frantic activity that I'm really excited. This is a big fish. So, yeah, and he went right in the net, thankfully. Look at that thing. Oh, he's gargantuan.
What a friggin' fish. Holy cow. Look at the size of this fish. Oh, it's one of the smallest docks I fished off of today. Oh my goodness. This is going to be a monstrosity here. It probably just looks bigger because the previous fish I caught was 14 and a half inches, but this is a nice fish right here. Wow. I think this is going to help. I think this is going to help. I do. I hope I do. Wow.
Yep, this fish is 19 and a half inches, and I am just completely gobsmacked. I cannot believe I just caught this fish. Very, very exciting for me, I can tell you that. Yeah, this is amazing. It was a beautiful fish, and if the day had ended here, I'd have been totally happy, totally satisfied. But it doesn't end here. It just keeps getting better. So, yeah, really lucky day. Yeah, so this dock behind me here, it's a floating dock, and you can't pitch under it. So I'm thinking about repositioning my kayak to be able to fish this dock in front of me. And I just pitched absentmindedly, just pitched my worm over there, and you know, I raised the anchor, and I'm farting around, and something doesn't feel right. I give the line a little twitch, and yeah, there's something on there. So I you know, I set the hook a little bit and start reeling. Holy cow, this seems like a big fish. Yeah, at this point, I can't believe what's going on. I am just completely flabbergasted. Yeah, and when I get this fish in the net, man, I just start to lose my mind. Here's some direct feedback from my chest camera.
I got another one. Can't believe it. Oh, can't freaking believe it. Oh my lord. Okay, dude. This one's very, very similar to the last one in size. 19 and a half, I'm gonna guess, or 19-ish. Very big fish, I can tell you that. And that was just a throwaway cast. I was just getting the line off the deck. Oh, man.
Unfortunately, this is a teaching moment, so it's great that you watch this video, because this pedal right here is obscuring the fish slightly. Disqualified. Oh well, it's still a nice fish. I'm still thrilled to have caught it. Just so you know, what you get when you don't get what you want is called experience. And so now I have the experience to know that I have to watch out for my pedals. I have to make sure that the ID tag is in the right place. I have to make sure my GPS is turned on. There's a lot of things that can cause you to get disqualified, and I seem to find every single one of them. All right, on to the next fish. Now, for whatever reason, I thought this dock just looked really juicy. The idea that it had that really thin sliver of gap underneath it means that people aren't throwing under it a lot. And I just pulled it off, and I got this here fish. And it did struggle to net him, apparently. But I did get him in the boat, and it wasn't a particularly large fish, but hey, I'm just thrilled with all the fish that I'm catching on this adventure here. So, yeah, let's hear what I have to say in the moment.
Got an 18, 19, 20, 14, and what are you, 15?
I'm just quoting all the fish that I have registered for the Bronzeback tournament, the monthly tournament.
Not very big. We're going to check it anyway.
So, yeah, I'm measuring this guy because I just want to make sure that I have a full 5 fish for this monthly tournament. It's called a Bronzeback. And so that's what I'm doing here. And I'm also getting a record that I got 4 fish in a day. Now, this dock looks just really good. So I just turned around and cast it right back under there again, thinking, well, maybe that's not the only fish under there. And I won't be surprised if it isn't the only fish under there. And it wasn't the only fish under there. And this fish feels slightly better than the last one. And I'm sure if you could hear the audio from that camera, I would be giggling. Oh, yeah, everything I did worked. It was a pretty spectacular chain of events that was going on here. I was even able to net all these fish successfully, which is an impressive feat unto itself. Because that's not something I do consistently.
Yeah. Stop. Stop. don't know what size this one is, but this is my 5th keeper for the day.
I bet you're all wondering, am I going to throw it under that dock again to try to catch my 3rd fish? And if I do catch that 3rd fish, Daniel would tell you that's a pat trick. But unfortunately, I did throw it under that dock and did not catch a fish. Oh well. Well, it's true. I did catch some dinks on this day. I haven't been showing you very many of them because I don't really want to waste your time. But this case, this fish is probably 12 inches, so possibly my 6th fish. I don't know, but I seem to be taking an awful long time to land it. It's not a very big fish, so I don't know what the heck I'm doing here, farting around with him. And I did manage to net him. And yeah, I'm pretty sure that that one's 12 inches, but I'm not going to waste a whole lot of time on him. Yeah, coming up here, this angled dock that I cast under, it's got dozens of small fish under it. I could see them on live scope, and I didn't know what they were, so I just tossed my wacky worm under there, and they were smallmouth. There was a whole bunch of them under there. And I could have sat there and caught a bunch of them, but I didn't see any point in it. So I just let this guy go and on to the next. Yeah, this is another unassuming dock, and I casted it in the shallower portion of this dock for some unknown reason, probably because I missed. And yeah, got a hit. And as you might expect, fishing in the shallower water on the dock, it's a largemouth. So now I'm catching largemouths too. I don't know why I keep being surprised when I catch largemouths in Lake Sammamish. I guess it's just because I haven't caught hardly any prior to this year. And this year I've caught a lot, 7 or 8 of them at least at this point. And so yeah, it's pretty cool to be catching largemouths and smallmouth. And this guy was gut hooked, so it took me a while to do the surgery to get that hook out of him. But he's none the worse for the wear, no bleeding or anything, so that's good news. And we're going to measure him up here. Yep, he was 17 1/4, and if you look at the picture, you can see his gill plates all messed up, but he's perfectly healthy, swam off just fine. All right, I want to show you this full sequence. Now, I did speed it up so you didn't have to sit through the grass growing here, but I made the initial cast and it went under the dock, and I was pretty happy with the cast. But I didn't get a bite. And so I thought, well, maybe I need to get it under there deeper. So I cast again. I didn't like that cast. It went too far to the left as far as I was concerned. So I tried again. This time I went too far to the right. I went under the boat. All right, now I'm going to cast again. And I'm going to cast it all the way back as far as I could get it. And I let it sit there for a while. And then I twitched it. And then I pulled it more towards the front, and then I let it sink again, and waited, and eventually all of that faldermoral has triggered this fish into biting. So don't give up on a dock. Sometimes it just requires several casts to get it right in front of the fish. And yeah, she hit. One of the things that I have found to be common when fishing with a wacky worm is a lot of times the fish will eat that thing, man. They really want it. And so it'll be actually in their stomach when you bring the fish in. And this is one of those cases. So this bass had completely ingested the hook. It was in the stomach. But you could still see the eye of the hook protruding. And I forgot to put my camera back on, so I'm going to put that back on. And then we're going to deal with this fish. And at this point, I'm like, oh, she swallowed it. But as I've mentioned before in the past, using the through the gill method you can extract that hook with very little damage. I've had multiple fish that I've removed this hook this way, and they don't even bleed. It's fantastic. So if you haven't learned how to do this, you should go watch a few more videos on it. This is not a very good demonstration on my part, but it's a great way to remove that hook. Well, as you saw there, that's an 18.5-inch fish, and that one's going to be entered into the Bronzeback monthly tournament as well. So we got a few more fish to go, if you can believe that. But that was my 7.
We got another friggin' fish. I can't believe it. This one's not quite as big. Let's just give it an idea here. So I marked on my center console here the length here. That's 12 inches, and the whole length is 14. Oh, come here, buddy. I just want to see how close this guy is to 14 inches. He'd be really close to 14. I think he's like 13 3/4. Not going to help. Get out of here.
All right, many of you know that at the end of the day, when I'm tired and want to go home, I typically will troll back towards the dock. And in this case, there's a point right here that sticks out, so I wanted to make sure that I hit that. I don't know why, because I caught so many fish today. I don't know why I'm still fishing, but I caught a fish right off that point, as I expected I would. And this right here should prove to you that this is one of the most magical, lucky days I will ever experience. So as I go to net this fish, it jumps over the net, comes off the hook, and lands on the bow. I lean forward, pick it up, and now I caught that fish. All right, so that fish is also 12 inches. So at the very least, that's number 9. But I also had that other fish that was probably 12 inches. So I'm going to say 10 keepers this day. So I doubled my goal. Hey, if a fish jumping onto the bow doesn't deserve a like, I don't know what does. So please hit the like button. And if you haven't already, why don't you subscribe? It's free. And hey, you can share this video with anybody you'd like, and I would love that. Well, all right, that's pretty much all I have for you today. What an epic fishing trip. I had the greatest time ever, and it certainly was a lucky, magical day. So thanks again for stopping by. I really appreciate you.